You know what'll never let you down? Books. Books will never let you down. Unless for some reason you find out that your favorite author was actually a huge asshole in real life. But, you know, I've got a pretty good feeling about these two. I've heard that this book is really good. Mia actually recommended it to me. I'm running out of room on my bookshelf. I gotta see about that. But yeah, I figured that I should probably help myself to a little retail therapy. It's been a rough couple of weeks. I've had to put out a lot of fires. I've had to have people put out fires for me, and I won't say that I've started any fires, but I have negligently left some embers burning and had to take care of that situation before it actually became a problem. But yeah, I've just been this like walking ball of anxiety for, oh God, I don't even know, since last Monday, I think. God, I don't even know. Like, linear time is not a thing. I keep saying that out loud to people, and it always sounds like a joke, but my brain seems to think it's reality. And I guess it's really got me thinking about, you know, how transient all of this is. You know, this job, this apartment, these friends, these people that I know, I'm gonna lose them someday. And that's not to be negative or be edgy, you know, but it's the circle of life, right? Like, you lose everything at some point. There's that line in the worst Indiana Jones movie. You get to an age where life stops giving you things and starts taking them away. And granted, that was said by a couple of middle-aged characters to each other, but I feel like that can start really early. And I feel like what got me down this whole train of thought is the fact that I'm actually happy. And I feel like, you know, everybody goes through this where, you know, they're finally at a place that they can be proud of, and they're surrounded by people who, you know, understand them and seem to enjoy their company, and they end up kind of taking themselves out of the enjoyment for a second and going, okay, but what's the catch? You know, what did I do to deserve this? As if, you know, a good home and support network is something that anybody can, like, deserve, as if it's not like a basic fundamental human right. But yeah, like, I'm not just talking out of my ass here, right? This is something that everybody goes through, and I'm finally not living in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. I have friends both online and in real life. Like, my God, for the longest time, the only friends that I had were, you know, group chats on Discord. Now I have people that I go and see physically. I see their faces. I know what they look like. I can hear their voices outside of, you know, tinny little internet calls. And that's not to denigrate, you know, online friendships. Those are obviously extremely important too, but, like, I feel like nothing beats actually going to see people in meet space, you know? And I get scared sometimes that I'm gonna fuck up one day and I'm gonna lose everything. You know, it's not a rational fear. It's one of those annoying voices in your head that just will not shut the hell up, no matter how often you tell it to, or how often you just say, okay, calm down, edgelord. And the annoying thing about little voices like that is that they can make a lot of sense in the moment. Like, they know exactly what to say into your fucking cerebellum that just drives you absolutely batty. And I don't know, I still haven't found the secret code to controlling that voice and making it shut the hell up when I need it to, or just, you know, rationalizing it and saying it's like, okay, but that's not important right now. That's not anything that I can control. So I don't see the use of worrying over it. People always tell you don't worry about the things you can't control, but by God, those are always the most worrying things, aren't they? And I don't know. I am a fundamentally insecure person who is constantly looking for validation from the people that I care about. And granted, that's a lot better than, you know, looking for validation in all the worst places. But, I mean, I feel like that's something people have gone through too. You know, you go down rabbit holes of bad influences, some so much worse than others. We have, you know, academic studies of things like the alt-right pipeline. Thank God that, you know, that was never a thing for me, but still, it's a scary thought. You know, what lack of community and lack of support and lack of, you know, just loneliness can do to a person. And it can make people so destructive. And we've seen some of the worst examples of what can happen to somebody when they get, you know, so trapped in this awful cycle of being alone with their worst possible thoughts. And you just kind of look at those accounts and think, God, there but for the grace of God go I. You know, I'm very grateful for the people and the places that I have. It's not like I'm looking to get rid of anything, God knows, but you know, I don't want to lose what I've got. And I know that there's only so much of that I can control. I wonder sometimes if I had a better brain. If I was a brain in a box, just like Marsh, but maybe things would be different. But I feel like they'd be a bad different. I don't want to be a brain in a box, as appealing as that sounds sometimes. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm entering the spiral. I'm entering the spiral, and I gotta get myself out of it before it really turns into something bad. I haven't had a proper panic attack in months, and I don't want to start now. So I'm just gonna leave that train of thought waiting at the station. Found out that my lighter doesn't work at the last minute, so my candle's just gonna have to be there for the smell alone. I actually don't come out onto my patio as much as I'd like. It's not as private as a balcony would be, but it's still pretty nice to have a little bit of outside space where I can sit and read and be alone with my thoughts. I miss going out into the woods though. The woods around here are full of cops, which is less than ideal. I would much rather run into a coyote than run into a cop. But that is one of the things that I miss about living at home. I could just fuck off into the woods for a while and sit on a tree over a ditch, or sit on that little tree stump that looked like a throne. I used to go out there all the time and pretend I was, you know, the prince or princess of this grand land of fairies who led the charge in these remarkable battles and could do all this cool magic. And I actually wrote a lot of it down at one point. I had like a little notebook full of lore from my fairy tale land that I'd invented out in the woods. I miss that. I miss that a lot. I never thought I would be the kind of person that grew out of that. And I guess I still don't want to think of myself as the kind of person that grew out of that. I wish I could go back and reinstate my fairy tale rule over the forest. Sure is a lot easier than piloting a desk. I keep thinking of something that I've heard said to me quite a lot about my decision to be an actor. People always tell me, well, have a backup plan. Have a backup plan in case things go horribly wrong with your performing career and you need to fall back on something else. And I guess I've internalized that to a certain degree, not specifically having to do with performing, but you know, when things seem too good to be true, when things feel like they're not going to last, I like to have backup plans. I like to think of, well, if I lose this job, what else can I do? If I can't go here anymore, where else can I go? What other opportunities are open to me? And I mean, I guess always being aware of where the emergency exits are. You know, on the one hand, it's smart, but on the other hand, it might not be the healthiest way to live your life. I know that a lot of this is probably preaching to the choir. I'm just thinking out loud, really. I'm just trying to process everything that I've been thinking these past couple of weeks, because I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to living in this tiny town in the middle of nowhere where nothing ever happens, and I feel like I'm forever beholden to, you know, this very insular group of people who see me in a very specific way, and God forbid I ever do or say or express myself in any other way than the very narrow idea that they have of me. I have no idea what my hometown would think of me being non-binary. Like, I've had plenty of queer castmates, but I think from my graduating class alone, I could think of like maybe 3 people who weren't cis in some way. You know, that's probably generous for a lot of small towns, honestly, especially in the middle of the Midwest. You know, there's that famous opening to the song from Prom. Lesson 1, don't be gay in Indiana. The failed step 1. Failed step 1. But yeah, I don't want to lose what I have. And I realize that, you know, this isn't the life that I've always dreamed of for myself. I actually dreamed about... Yes, oh, okay. I'm fine. Now I've got my neighbor worried about me and probably thinking I'm a terrible heel for just saying that I was fine. It's the kind of week I've had. You know, sometimes you can't win. You can't win. But like I said, I can't even remember what it is I was saying before. I guess it really doesn't matter. I guess the gist of it is that this isn't the life that I dreamed of for myself, but it's the life that I've got, and it's a life that I'm glad that I have. And I don't know. I'm just insecure, is all. I don't know any other way to put it. think another spiral that people can get trapped in is wondering whether or not they deserve certain things. Well, who the fuck decides that? Who the fuck decides who deserves certain things? Plenty of people get things that they don't deserve. In fact, that happens all the time. Bad things happen to good people all the time. You know, there's an entire, you know, religious concept surrounding that fact. And even if you're not religious, that's something that you always have in the back of your mind, I think. Honestly, I don't know if I deserve this. I don't know if I deserve the friends that I've got. Probably not. There are probably a lot more people who are a lot more deserving than I am, but I don't control that. I don't know I don't know what to do with that. I don't know how else to be. I don't know how else to exist. And I don't know how else to affect the world other than the things that I've already been doing. You know, I talk to people, I listen, I learn as much as I can. You know, in my capacity at Acorn as a board member, you know, I serve as, you know, a form of community activist. I want to make this organization that we've started as inclusive and as accessible to as many people as possible, and not put up with the kinds of stupid bullshit that so many towns in the Midwest are infamous for. I don't want that. I don't want to associate with people like that. In fact, I think that's a big factor of why I moved out of a small town, because in small, insular, Midwestern towns like that, you get full of, it's full of assholes. It's absolutely full of assholes. And I know that you can't escape assholes anywhere you go, but, you know, you can at least mitigate the kind of asshole. You know, I didn't want to be surrounded on all sides by racist, homophobic assholes. I'm spiraling again. I don't know. Just I feel content. I feel content, and I'm scared of that. But I know that's just the anxiety monkey brain talking. The intellectual side of me, the side that actually listens to reason and logic, knows that all I can really do is just savor it while I've got it. That's all any of us can really do. And just, for the love of God, relax and have fun, and maybe eventually get on some antidepressants. God, I haven't actually been on any medicine for anything going on in my brain in years. I actually had a past employer. I don't think he meant to do it, but he ended up talking me out of taking my medications. And I don't think the dosage was all wrong for them at the time. You know, they were probably causing a little more harm than good, but at least they were doing some good. And now I don't have that. But every time I think I've gotten better at, you know, regulating myself, keeping control of myself, something always happens. It's always something, you know? But I don't know, I'd like that again. I'd like to feel more in control of myself. I'd like to feel more like I have a handle on shit. And maybe one day, give it a few years, I actually will. I won't feel anymore like I'm just at the whims of the universe. But I guess that's not really something I can control either. Who the hell knows, right? Who the hell ever knows? This is a very disorganized video. But I'm glad that I have some kind of outlet just to get all my thoughts out there. And I guess I don't know what I'm hoping is going to come of this. Maybe somebody will watch this and they'll have a better idea of what's going on in my head. Maybe somebody will watch this and they'll relate to it in some way. I don't know. I guess I never really intended these vlogs to be, you know, as much of a diary as they used to be, but I mean, we all need something, right? We all need something that we can just pour our thoughts out onto, and I guess I'm better at being extemporaneous when I'm on camera as opposed to on paper. And yeah, I'm just glad I have something. I'm glad I have somebody out there who's willing to listen. And hopefully all of this mattered somehow. It's that old saying, make my messes matter, make my catastrophes count. Well, maybe this did. Maybe all of this will one day. God, I hope so. As always, thank you all for following me this far, and I will see you all very soon. Bye.